welcome to Love Island the morning after, the only official Love Island podcast. My name is Amy Hart and I have a stellar lineup of guests for you today. I have the wonderful ex-Islander and now Love Island all-star, Kaz Kamwi.
Hi, everyone.
I have my guest all week, the wonderful Lewys Ball.
Hello.
And joining us today, we have the queen of Love Island, the latest dumped Islander, Harriett Blackmore. Right, girls, and honorary girly Lewis. We are gold, we are glitter, let's do this. After three, join me please. 1, 2, 3. We are gold, we are glitter, let's do this. Harriett, it's so lovely to have you here. We had Ronnie here yesterday morning.
Yeah.
Nice we can actually get to talk to you. If you could describe your villa experience in 3 words, how would you describe it?
Eventful,
Yeah.
fun,
Yeah.
and flirty is what I'm going to say.
Yeah. Obviously, really nice that you and Ronnie have left together. Obviously, not so great that you got dumped from the island, but the fact you left together, are you slightly glad to be out before Casa?
I'd be lying if I says I wasn't slightly glad. I feel like, I would have been a bit scared being in the other villa and Ronnie being in the main one. But, you know, he could have proved me wrong and he is a changed man.
Yeah, he's a change up. But also as well, being apart from each other for that week is really hard. Like, you just got back on track.
No, exactly.
To then be split up again. So at least, you know, you're going out for a nice dinner tonight, aren't you?
Yeah.
He told us all about it. We can't wait.
Oh, true.
Have you had any alone times since leaving the villa?
It has been a bit chaotic since coming out. Like, we have had a bit more alone time. Obviously, it's nice to, like, speak away from cameras, like microphones and all that sort of stuff. But, yeah, we've got a few things planned. So.
Yeah. Well, talking of planning things, yesterday when Ronnie was with us, we got down to planning some very exciting business, which is yours and Ronnie's wedding. So he said that Io and Joey were going to be his best men. So who are going to be your bridesmaids from the villa?
Grace and Matilda, for sure. Definitely.
That'll look
those
lovely in a little V, I think. Talking of friendships, obviously, you were really lucky you've met someone you've got a really good connection with, but also Love Island is about the friendships too. Like, who are you staying in contact with outside of the villa?
So I think definitely everyone who's left, like, now, like previous Islanders. And then the girls, Matilda and Grace, and the boys I was closest with, Joey and Sean. So definitely them.
I will say, all the girls, especially like Samantha and Patsy, when they came into the podcast and we were talking about, okay, like in the villa, like just chatting before we recorded, they were all like, Harriett is the most lovely person ever. So you've got glowing reviews.
I'm seeing them this week as well, so that'll be nice.
Now, obviously, we can't go through the podcast without mentioning Jess. Now you're outside of the villa. How do you feel about that situation?
I think being outside of the villa is obviously really different, like in the sense of, like, I'm getting tagged in everything, like right and centre.
Supercuts.
Yeah, literally supercuts. And I'm a bit like, whoa, okay, didn't really realise all the things she was saying about me. I think if I was in there, I would have taken a different approach. But obviously, I've left that in the villa. Wish her all the best. Yeah. If she wants to carry it on with anyone else, then that's on her. But yeah.
And then your other little confrontation, Kieran, are you still annoyed at Nicole for not getting involved?
To be honest, like, I did clear it up with Nicole. I just think the point I was trying to get across is, like, if that was me in the situation and say it was like Ronnie speaking to a girl like that, like, I wouldn't have had it. Yeah. But I get, you know, everything's in the heat at the moment and sometimes people regret what they do and what they don't do. But I was just trying to reiterate the fact that, like, if that was Ronnie and it was my couple, like, I would have said, hold on a minute, don't speak to people like that. But I guess everyone's different, so.
You were an amazing island and you are definitely the latest inductee into the Love Island Hall of Fame, I would say. And I haven't said that to anyone this series.
God, I love that. Okay, thanks.
You are up there with the icons. But you're going to be with us for the whole podcast today, giving us your views on everything. So let's jump straight in. We're episode 3 in Casa Amor. We're split across the 2 villas. So let's start with Matilda and Sean. Do we think their heads are going to turn?
Yes. No, seriously,
Thank you for coming.
I do. You know what? Before Casa started, I would have said Sean would have stuck and I thought Matilda possibly would have stuck. But now I'm like, no, both of them are just going to turn. I'm not mad at it.
No.
I don't know. I think they're giving me, like, the energy where they're going to try a little bit in Casa Amor, have the fun while they can, but then they're still going to come back. And then we might get a little moment where, like,
movie night,
somewhere where Sean was with was like, hold on a minute, I actually thought you were going to pick me.
Yeah.
And Matilda's like, wait a minute. But I think they will still come back, both single.
Now, Matilda is showing an interest in Jake and Hugo.
Yeah.
She snogged Jake in the game because they both had the smallest shoe size. They are just so different from Sean, she said. Now, do we think she will give in to the temptation with either of them?
I think so.
I really do.
I think so. There's like 3 options of guys.
Yeah, but I just think Matilda to me strikes me as a girl who likes a little bit of fun. She likes a little bit of, like, an innocent flirt, but she's never going to cross the line.
To be fair, when they were all talking after the game, she was the one that sort of brought everyone back down to earth and was like, but we've got to remember it is just a game in the garden.
Yeah, that is true.
I feel like she's got like the most sensible head screwed on in there, but is in like not even sensible, but just like the most realistic outlook on life.
Yeah, she does for sure.
True.
I think so. I think, she might have a few like few kisses in games, but like I think obviously from being in there, like I would like to think her head is with Sean. Yeah. So I'm rooting for them.
I really actually think she's going to turn, Her turning, I don't see it as like a bad thing.
Yeah.
I think it's just more of just like I don't know.
A just in case.
Yeah. Well, maybe not even a just in case. Like, she fancies two different guys.
Yeah. Hugo told her that he feels like her and Sean is a one-way sexual thing. And he's obviously been listening to the podcast before he went in, because as we keep saying, everything she says is he's cute, he's adorable, he's so sweet.
Yeah.
But do we think Hugo is trying to sabotage Sean?
I don't trust anyone's real intentions coming into Casa Amor, because they all want to make sure that they get in. Like, he obviously fancies Matilda, like, and all that kind of stuff, but he just wants to really make sure and come across that he can get his message across and how strongly he feels about her. And if that is by sabotaging Sean, so be it.
Game's the game, innit?
But I mean, Sean, he was flirting with Ellie in the episode, said that she was like a rhubarb and custard because she had two sides to her, but she is a lady blonde with a fiery personality, so maybe he was correct. But she said that she was a coconut mushroom, which I think is quite a rogue sweet.
That's just trying to be different.
That is so rogue.
I don't even know what it is.
That's just so random.
That is the sweet
know what it
equivalent
is.
of, I'm not like other girls.
No, for real.
She is not a fizzy peach. She is not a watermelon slice.
She's
Thank
not
you very much.
watermelon slice,
No.
Matilda. She's no watermelon slice.
Now, Sean told you you're a strawberry pencil. Do you agree with that, or do you identify as another type of sweet?
Well, I am a strawberry pencil in the sense of he said I'm hard on the outside and soft on the inside. So I'll take that. But I think I could be something more fun and fizzy.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
What are you?
I want to be like a chocolate eclair.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I love them. And like, I'm addicted to them. And I feel like once you have one, you need to keep having it. Like, once you're around me, you want to be around me all the time.
And to be fair,
that's what I think. I love, I'm sorry,
and
my
also,
energy is like
and also you
the
think,
vibe.
You think you're getting the toffee, and then bam,
and it's a bit of
the chocolate comes through.
Yeah, and also it's a bit hard on the outside.
Yeah.
A little bit like, I'm not that guarded.
I always worry
guarded.
about my veneers.
Yeah.
Lewis?
I don't know, because I don't have a sweet tooth as it is.
Are you chips and dip?
No, I
Do you want to be licorice?
And maybe the sweets which are falling out the pick and mix on the floor at the bottom of the cinema.
Oh, darling, we need to unpick this after the recording, okay?
I'm not even going to allow you to do that to yourself.
Yeah.
You need to be at the top of the shelf, darling.
Yeah. You are a gummy snake. You're very exclusive and very expensive.
Oh, I will take that. Like one of the meter-long ones. Like, they're going to cost the mortgage to get those.
Yeah, they are.
Your mum would never let you have. My godfather took me out when I was like 6. He said, you can have as much pick and mix as you want. And I was like, what, really? And he was like, yeah. Bear in mind, this is like in the 90s. I had like 15 quid's worth of pick and mix. So like,
well, that goes a long way.
Uncle Pete said I could have as much as I wanted. I would say that I'm one of those bubblegum bottles.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, that's cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yours is cute.
Yeah. What sweet is Ronnie? Is he a rainbow belt?
Yeah, there's lots of different.
Okay.
Or is it gobstopper because you can spin it? Turbo.
I think no more turbo. I think Rainbow Bell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so because it's long, he has to be longer than me.
Yeah.
It's got some fizz to it as well.
He's got some fizz, so he needs a bit of fizz if he wants to be with me. Okay, right.
And he's a multifaceted creature, all the different
And there's
colours.
lots of different colours, lots of different layers. We just don't know them all yet.
I will say
different layers to the personality, girl.
yeah. And I'm not just trying to like be your bestie here, but I really believed in you two on the show. Last time we got back together, I said no After Sun. Like, I think they're going to go all the way to the final. But then meeting you both at After Sun the other night, one of my best friends texted me the next day and was like, so come on then, what are Ronnie and Harriett like? And I was like, do you know what? They're both so lovely. And I can totally see, now that I've met you separately as well, I can totally see why you go so well together.
The fizz.
The fizz.
It's time to dish out our pre-love serves of the week with official headline sponsor, eBay. Bombshell will kick things off by stepping out into the villa in a tropical Tasso Elba Island shirt. He scored another win coupling up with Umar in her fire rat and boa starburst dress and this Stussy jacket. A classic pick worn by Shaq and Tom in Series 9, Mehdi in Series 10 and Adam during All-Stars. Kinda jealous I didn't get to wear it because that pink would have looked ravishing on me during the villa parties. Meanwhile, old flames were rekindled for Joey and Grace in the Hideway, with Joey wearing this Givenchy t-shirt. Just another week of pre-love summer. Discover more villa-inspired looks on eBay today. Fashion fit for a second chance. eBay, sponsors of Love Island.
Uma and Will. This is taking a turn for the worse So Uma's remaining loyal and she's staying on the daybed, as all the best people do. But Will kissed Lucy in bed. And he keeps saying that petite blondes are his type, which I think is a very easy thing to say when you're in a villa with 50% of petite blondes.
Maybe I have too much faith in men. I know it's 2024.
Yeah.
But I genuinely thought that I can count on Will and Uma to just bring it. After the heart rate challenge, I was settled. I was like, these two just work.
Yeah.
And I love them. And now I'm like, I don't know what I experienced watching it, but I feel very discombobulated and I don't like what I'm seeing. And I feel so bad for Uma. I understand Will's like saying, okay, typical types, petite blondes, that's fine. But my goodness, I really thought their connection was a bit stronger than that.
You didn't wait very long either, did you?
No. I think that might be what it is. There's no hesitation. He's almost just like, you know when they were trying to, when Joey was like, oh, who do you want to share a bed with?
Yeah.
I felt like Will was sat there like, pick me. Like,
Yeah,
it was very intense.
He was giving the eye contact.
Yeah.
He
So I
was
a bit
waiting for his name to be said.
Yeah.
If someone ever is going to go for something, it's going to be at Casa Amor because you don't have to hide it.
He's so lucky to be with Uma. I feel like she's like one of the best characters in the show. She's got a great personality. She's obviously stunning. I think Will, so ungrateful.
You know how she said to him, like, she's a slow burner, it takes a while, and he really respected that.
Yeah.
How are you going to just throw that away? I think that's the thing, because if he showed any kind of red flags, that concern about how slow she was moving, and I understand, but he was just like, nah.
Yeah.
But then he did say, they built a connection really quickly, so why can't it happen again? I said, huh?
No. N-O spells
Anyway,
no, Will.
yeah, he's made me a bit
Do you think
sad.
Uma is going to be angry or upset?
I think she'll be upset. I don't think she'll be angry. She's not like an angry person. She more like just gets a bit disappointed.
Yeah.
I think she will be upset,
I think she'll be really, really hurt. Like really hurt.
Yeah. Did you sleep in the day beds?
I did. Do you know what? I look back on my series, everyone slept in the day beds. I don't even know why half of us did it. I don't know why I did it. I was only coupled up with Tyler at the time for about 4 days. But because I waited so long to make a connection with someone, who gets their connection 4 days before Casa?
Yeah.
I've been there from day one.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I think I was just fed up of the idea of like getting to know someone new. And I thought, right, it's my person, that's it. Don't care what's happening. Don't care who's walking in.
Yeah.
I'm just staying loyal because I'm tired.
Yeah.
So I slept in the day beds till the postcard came.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I did a whole 180.
Yeah.
180. I said, whoop, right, get myself together. Who's single? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's hard in there though.
Mimi did try and reassure Uma, awkward, by saying that Casa boys need to lay on thick. And she said, I just don't trust the lust part. And Uma said, they think with their peace.
She's right.
She's right.
She's right. I needed that kind of advice when I was in there. That's the kind of advice I needed in there.
Yeah.
But I want Mimi to also take that advice as well. My heart's breaking for her as well.
Yeah. We'll come on to Io later. We'll talk about you
we'll get
later.
there. We'll get
But
there.
I feel like out of Will and Io's the one that you go more to. Like, Will has obviously really surprised us. I don't really see where Mimi's like, you know, oh, we're going to be fine. No, Mimi. Go and talk to Lionel. Really?
Like, with Lionel.
She's like, no, I'd just rather go home. Right, next up, we've got Grace and Blade. I have to say it like that. I don't know why. It just sounds great like that. They kissed.
Yeah.
Blade chose Grace, the sexiest girl in the villa, and kissed her from head to toe and said he only has eyes for her. He said he only has eyes for her, but the man is a gardener. He is planting seeds in every single person's head.
That's a Casa boy on job.
That is.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
That's Casa
I
on
appreciate
job.
it. The same way I appreciated you in the villa, you know that we are sat at home needing entertainment and you are providing us with that entertainment. You are doing your services and job, and for that we have to thank you and appreciate you. Like, I appreciate Blade in there for causing all this.
So,
yeah, but it is just, you know, having the same conversation with Uma. So I'm a bit like, is this just your chat?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Honestly.
It'll be interesting to see.
A little bit of Nicole as well.
Yeah.
I tried to get in her head. It's when he spoke to Nicole, I said, like, Blade now.
Blade, you're just
come on
bored.
now, Blade.
You're not
Blade,
even
you're
interested in
bored. Now, if Blade is to be believed and Grace is the only one for him, do we think they're a good match?
Yeah, I think they're a very good looking couple.
Yeah, I would say also from like Grace, what she's told me her type was before the villa. Like he's very much it. But obviously, yeah, I'm surprised at kisses from Grace. That's a bit bold from Grace.
No, I'm here for it.
How do we think Joey will react if she comes back with 6'4" Blade?
Oh, I'm
Scary.
praying.
He'll be like, hello.
Honestly.
Lovely to meet you.
My dream, my absolute right. This is my like dream recoupling at Casa is Joey walking in single by himself, Grace coming in with a tall, sexy man, and him just being like, oh.
But then it's like, is Joey using this as his hero arc? Like,
Are we going to buy that?
No. I love Joey Essex more than the next Towie fan. And He's done all his head spinning. Like his heat map through the villa is
Yeah.
vast. Is this his time that now he's like, right, okay, this is my chance because other people are going to screw up.
Thing is,
So then I get lifted up onto a pedestal.
I don't even mind that. I just need that little
Need him
moment
to
to be like,
feel.
ooh.
Yeah.
I want him to grovel just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's not actually made any like firm decision.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
what I think the problem is.
So do we think Joey is going to recouple? Because Sean said he's never seen him so quiet. Do we think that he's missing his girl, potentially girls?
I think he's just like working out what he's going to do or like where his head's actually at. Obviously, it was quick from Grace to Jessie.
Yeah.
And then it was quick from Jessie to Casa Amor.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
he needs some thinking time.
Yeah.
I agree.
So-
He's
yeah.
enjoying the break.
Yeah,
No,
he is. He's having a nice little break.
No one's shouting at him. Everyone's very welcoming.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
loving it. He's loving it.
Now it's time to celebrate the latest and greatest me moments from the villa with Sky Mobile. The moments where the Islanders have put themselves and their needs first. In third, we have Joey beautifully describing his feelings for Grace.
Grace, all I want to do is give you a kiss, but I just want to be really happy.
Voice of an angel. And in second place, it's Sean marking his territory.
I genuinely want to be proactive with you, and I don't want Omar to have a sniff of you, and I do genuinely want you. So I'm just going to be on it with you.
She's not a dog, Sean. And the current number one moment is Jess, Samantha and Nicole showing us who's boss.
Remember why we're here.
Remember
why we are boss bitches.
Remember why we are boss bitches.
I remember why we don't let mid-level entry men take the out of us and make us feel less worthy than we are.
Girl power. Embrace your me energy with Sky Mobile, the network that allows you to change your phone and your data plan to suit you.
Obviously, on After Sun the other night, we saw the VT before they all went in, and Blake did his whole, I love Uma's big eyes. And he did have probably the same chat that he had with Grace with her. Do we think he's going to continue to pursue Uma, even though she's not giving anything back? She's sleeping outside in the daybed. She's saying that she's got a great connection with Will. Do we think he's going to continue to pursue her?
I think he's bold enough to.
Yeah, he's got the
Yeah.
chat for sure, but I'm undecided.
What is about Blade is that he has the chat in a way that he could pursue Uma still, with Uma still turning him down. But for some reason, it's still not going to come across cringy or ooh, she's not.
Yeah, yeah,
There's
yeah.
something about him which is
Yeah.
if she was just no, can you stop? He'd be like, yeah, okay. And
Yeah.
just move on. And just be like, oh, okay then.
No, I think it's the voice. It's so deep.
He's a butler in the buff, so he probably does, two, maybe 3 hen dos a weekend. So he's met a lot of women. He's probably met the most women out of everyone. So he knows probably what it's like to be turned down as well. And he can just keep it respectful. It's his job at the end of the day and just move on. But in the cliffhanger, we saw Grace kissing Messiah. So maybe he's best off to keep chatting to Uma. Otherwise, he could be going home.
As long as Grace is living her best life.
Yeah,
I'm here
as
for
long as
it.
my Gracie's
Honestly,
having a good
as long as
time,
she's
I'm
living
happy.
Right.
The track record history of men in Casa Amor, I am always here for a girl with
Yeah.
some tomfoolery going
Do you
on
know
in
what I
Casa Amor.
mean?
It's about time that they gave it
Have
back.
fun. I really like Grace. She's just fun.
Yeah.
I'm like, do your thing.
So, I am Mimi. His head is turning. He kissed her head to toe for the sexiest girl, and then he took her for a chat and took her to the Hideway. Why do you think they went there? They could have gone to a quiet corner. Harriett, you've been in there. Obviously, this is the first year that you can just go in there willy-nilly whenever you want. What does it bring to a chat? What does it bring to a situation?
I feel the name The Hideway is actually really scary for everyone in there, but trying to see both sides, it can just be for a private conversation.
Yeah.
Io is very much like that. He doesn't like doing things in front of everyone.
Yeah.
So I feel it could be just to get a bit more intimate and one-on-one, not
Yeah.
being the idea of the crazy hideaway
Yeah.
that everyone has. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People have already been getting involved with his situation with Jessica as it is. Joey was saying oh, you've been coupled up with the girl since day one. So maybe he was just
Yeah.
right, I need a conversation now
Yeah.
with no one
Yeah.
putting
Yeah,
in their
a
two
private
pence.
conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that might be why he's done it. But
Yeah.
who knows with these
Yes.
boys? Actually?
Yes, who knows?
Like,
Not really
that's
sure.
surprising.
He said, I enjoy the feeling I have when I'm around you and I really like what it could be. Have we heard all this before from Io? And will we hear it again? When he tries
He
to
has
win
got
Mimi
away
back
with
inevitably
words. He's
in a
got
week.
away with words. He's a charmer.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. He does say similar things to
Yeah.
Mimi, so
I loved
I
it when
don't know.
back in week 2 when he used to say, anything I've said to Uma, I've said to you, meaning I haven't done anything that you don't know about.
and then they
But
got
Yeah.
them all in the conversation with
Yeah,
three
but
people.
We were like, no, like literally everything you have said to Mimi, you have also said to Omar. Like you're literally
Yeah, and we had
like
a
not
private
lying.
chat and we were all in the kitchen like, oh, this is not good. There was like 3 of them.
Yeah.
We were like, oh.
But I also like how Jessica pulled him up on it and said, right, you're speaking in riddles. I need you to be clear.
Yes.
I like that. Sometimes if someone's got the gift of the gab, because I think it's got a bit of the gift of the gab, you need to say some right, tell me exactly what you're saying in a way that I can understand. I can really break it down.
Mm-hmm.
So I quite like that. But I don't know. I'm not really mad at Jessica and Io.
No.
I feel like Jessica's got good vibes.
Yeah. Like, I'm
She'd be a
not
good
actually
addition
mad
to
at
the
them.
villa,
I'm just
yeah.
like, they're just genuinely getting along.
Yeah. The girls told the boys that Jessica is panicking a bit about how well they're getting on because she said it's a lot to be vulnerable with someone you don't know and you don't know if it'll be worth it. Can we relate to that? Like the feeling of letting your guard down. Do we like it? Does it scare you?
I think it is a bit scary, letting your guard down. But then again, I do kind of like it because it is exciting getting to know a new person.
Yeah.
But I think, when you base things off like previous things that have happened in relationships, that's when it gets a bit scary.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I try not to like compare my past experiences like going into like a new relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also feel like for Jessica in this situation specifically, she's probably a bit like, maybe like she doesn't like being vulnerable and stuff. It's like, so when you have such a solid connection with someone else, am I wasting my time here?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
letting my guard down for you to just
Yeah.
turn around
Yeah.
in 2 days and be like, well, actually, I have Mimi
Yeah, like
back
I don't
over
want to
there,
give it
so-
my all and then
Yeah.
you'd be like,
Yeah.
actually, no,
Yeah,
but I've
yeah,
had my
yeah.
fun, but no.
I like that approach more than like,
Yeah.
I'm going to just take your man anyway.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
she just shows she's got a lot more
Yeah.
like self-respect.
Yeah, and a lot
I
more
don't
about
know.
her.
Because
Yeah.
also,
Hard,
if he's
man.
not interested, Connor with a K is somewhere in the villa. We haven't seen him for
No,
2 days,
actually, bless
but
Connor
he's
with a K.
somewhere.
Bless
He's
Connor with a
somewhere.
K.
Send out a search warrant because for real, where is Connor?
If anyone has seen him, please
Who's he
call.
bringing back?
Oh, no.
I want to go in there and rescue him.
He's going to
because
come back
what's
on his
going
own.
on?
They're going to be like, Grace is recoupled because obviously you two weren't really together. He'll be like, yeah, I know, but I quite like starfishing. Moving on to Kieran and Nicole. Now, Harriet, you've been in the villa with them. Obviously, we've seen a common theme throughout the series has been that Kieran, he just gets himself into a situation where his mouth doesn't engage his brain.
Yeah.
And then Nicole, some would say overreact. I personally wouldn't because I behaved exactly the same as her in the villa, so I would never say it about her. Do you think her insecurity is pushing Kieran away?
Not necessarily. I think that Kieran does know how to deal with the way that Nicole feels. Like from being
Yeah.
in there, he really does. Like he's always really supportive and like reassuring. But I think naturally it is scary when you're away from someone that you've said that you love them.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, actually Casa Amor's here.
Yeah. I mean, it's quite anxiety inducing in there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially when you're so close to someone and you've built that bond with them to think, I mean, you actually went through it not once but twice, but like seeing them build a bond with someone else in front of you is horrendous.
Yeah.
So having that fear is quite anxiety inducing.
Yeah,
isn't
and
it?
also it's like really intense in there. Like
Yeah.
people don't realise. Like even them being away for like 2 or 3 days feels
Yeah.
like 3 weeks at
Yeah.
this point. So it's like naturally you feel things more.
Kieran and Nicole, are they a good match?
I think they can be.
I'm not sure.
You know,
I just think, especially because Kieran is so young, if she's like this in the villa where she can have 24/7 watch, I mean, obviously she's in Casa right now, but
Yeah.
hypothetically, normally in the villa, she can see him for 24/7 hours of the day
Yeah.
and see what he's doing. I just don't know how she's going to act when he comes like off a show
Yeah.
and you're in the real world. He has to go on a night out without you. I worry for them in that sense. And I feel like he does try to reassure her, but he could maybe like
Yeah.
reassure her better. But I
Yeah.
just think that's because of his age.
I will
Yeah.
say though, the Love Island fans are the best in the world. They are your eyes and your ears.
Detectives.
Oh, no.
My boyfriend went on a stag do and someone came up to him and was like, you're Amy's boyfriend, aren't you? And he's like, yeah. And they were like, we're really massive fans of Amy. He's like, that's lovely. And she went, yeah. So we'll be watching.
Oh my God, I love that. I
That
love
is so
that.
iconic.
That would be something I would do if I was a fan. I'd be
Yeah.
like, I'm watching you, I'm going to send it.
Yeah. So, you know, Nicole's got nothing to worry
She's
about.
got
No.
There are
detectives
literally a million
everywhere.
people got their eyes and ears on Kieran at all times.
In every bar in Wales, there'll be
Literally,
someone
yeah,
there.
There'll be someone there with a Nicole sticker on. Nicole
Bless.
cam.
It's hard, isn't it? Like, I think you have to learn how to trust people yourself. Like, Nicole's going to have to work on that herself. But I also feel like once she feels secure enough, I think
It
they
just
can be
takes maybe
okay.
time, yeah.
Now, he snogged Emma, the youngest guy, kissed the girl you fancy the most. Now, I'm going with geography here.
Yeah.
She was literally sat right next to him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
He's
think
obviously
so too.
he's quite competitive, isn't he?
Yeah, he is really competitive. So I feel like he literally just went and didn't have time to think
Yeah.
about it. Or maybe he did fancy her and, you know, sometimes Kieran says and does
Yeah.
things and he
Yeah.
didn't actually process it. And it was like, but I'm
yeah.
going with the...
I think as well, like with the girls, like I had to, when I did the raunchy races, I had to cover someone in lipstick, which was fine, easy.
Yeah.
But I feel like if I'd said, I really don't want to kiss anyone, all the girls would have been like, that's fine. It's only a party. When you're with your group of lads and there's a new group of girls, it's that bravado, it's that pride thing. You can't be the one to lose it for the group.
No, I know.
He's a rugby player too, isn't he?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. He's used to all
He's a
these quick games.
sportsman.
Yeah.
And even in the challenge when the kiss, his face was like
Yeah.
straight. He literally looked like, oh my gosh, what have I just done?
Yeah, and he said, like, I
Do you know what I
snogged
mean? I
Emma
know.
before the question was even finished. I
Yeah.
heard youngest and I kissed. Now, it was just a game. It did cause a lot of ruckus between the two villas. Do we think they all, especially Nicole, need to keep it in context?
I think she does. I think she needs to put the Zoom feature on the phone down and just believe.
I love that. That's my favourite thing.
Do you know what? Like, I actually came up with that when they were in the other villa.
Yeah.
So that's like my thing. I was sat there like when Ronnie was in the other villa with the camera, like zooming in, like, is there movement? But like, I would definitely be the same in Casa if I was her.
Yeah.
So like,
You
yeah,
taught
it is
them
just
well,
a game. But yeah, I taught them well, girls.
But it's that fear of the unknown, isn't it? It's like you can't even speak to them. You can't get any reassurance. I mean, look, when I went to Casa Amor, I laid in bed and cried. I was like, I don't want to talk to anyone. I just want to go home. And they were like, what, home to the UK? I was like, no, home to the main villa. I want home now. I just want to go home. Two people who are quite happy to be part of the right thing are Jess and Trey. Do we think it's done now?
I don't think it ever started.
No, it was. They,
to be honest, I don't think it ever started.
Placeholders.
Yeah.
Now, she snogged Hugo and she said that she hopes it happens again.
Yeah.
Do we think it will happen again? Because he's actually been talking to other people like Matilda as well, hasn't he?
I feel like they're just set. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I just think
sometimes
they're
it's
just-
the chase that is the exciting
Yeah.
part. So someone like Matilda, who seems in a more secure couple, that seems like a bit more
forgot
fun
about
few
Matilda.
days,
Yeah.
trying to chase that and get that instead of someone who's
Yeah.
just on the first morning said, right, yep, I'm happy to go back with you.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Having said that, though, Casa Amor is obviously the hardest bit of
Yeah.
Love Island to come in as. Like that, or probably the very last bombshell. Coming in as Casa Amor, it's like head down. I've got to get this done. Like I've got to work it out.
It's like deadline. Like, I need to do
So
this.
you can't be messing about being like, oh, I don't think this is really challenging me as a performer in Casa Amor. I don't really feel this is challenging me as a Love Islander. So I'm going to try and find something a little bit harder. No.
But maybe he's been on his rehearsals. He knows what he was going to say in there. He was like, I can do better than this. Let me perform again for you guys.
It's like, you know,
Let me
you
go
rehearse,
again.
yeah, you know when you rehearse a conversation in your head and then the person doesn't like start it off how you want it and you're like, no.
Well, they don't give you like the same answer that
Yeah.
you rehearsed in your head and you're like, oh God, I've got to do it again.
But you think they're going to say no, so you get like the massive rant ready and they're like, yeah, okay. You're like,
You're like,
no,
oh,
I
do
planned
it
it.
Out of all the boys, Hugo got the most attention right at the beginning.
Yeah.
So I feel like in the back of his head,
Yeah.
he's hot property.
He's got a list of lines that he thought could be on T-shirts. And he's like, well, I can't use them on Jess if she's already with me.
Yeah.
So let me just go get them over with Matilda and then I'll come back in a second.
Going back over to the other villa, Trey kissed Ellie in bed.
Yeah.
Very forward. And he also gave what I would call an unwise pep talk to the boys, which was, it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. Do we agree?
No. Like, I also don't agree with that. Like, it's not easier, is it?
It's easier for Trey to say that because he hasn't been in there that very long.
Yeah.
So for him, like, who's he really asking for forgiveness?
Yeah.
Because Jess doesn't care.
Yeah.
Do
He's
you know what I
literally just
mean?
like whatever. He's probably thinking of like ex-girlfriends and
Yeah.
stuff at this
Yeah.
point. I'm a bit too intense for someone to ask for forgiveness or permission because I'd literally cut you off.
See, I'm the worst because I bear a grudge, but I also can't do it to people's faces. There's people that I'm friends with now
Yeah.
who I'm still annoyed about things they did 10 years
me.
ago. And I let it like really upset, like eat me up, but I still have to be nice to them. Because I'm
Is it all
I
you're
know.
thinking about when you have a conversation with them? You're like, oh, I was actually thinking about
and
what
I'm
you
like,
just
yeah, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, yeah. That's the problem with having a really amazing long-term memory. You know the whole of Love Island inside out, but you also don't forget everything that anyone's ever said to you. It's in your mind. Well, on that note, what a wonderful show we've had. Thank you to Kaz and Harriett for joining us today. Lewis will be back with me tomorrow and India's back tomorrow. So excited to see her. Don't forget to subscribe and spread the word. Leave us a 5-star review and we will give you a 5-star show. And thank you for all of your comments you've been leaving. We love reading them and we will see you all tomorrow.